So hi everyone, this is Joy, your instructor for microprocessor and interfacing, and today we are going to solve one example for the memory interfacing. So let's read the question first. We are asked to draw and explain 4K byte of EEPROM interfacing with 8085 from 0000H. So if you see any memory interfacing question, first thing you need to find is that how many memory you are asked to interface. Right now in this example, you are asked to interface only one memory, that is EEPROM, and it is of 4K byte. Okay. After finding how many memories are required, the first step is to draw that memory. In the memory interfacing questions, we are going to solve this question using 3 steps. So for any memory interfacing question, we are trying to solve that question using 3 simple steps, and after that 3 simple steps, you are going to perform the memory interfacing by yourself very easily. So in the first step, you have to draw the memories that are asked to interface with the microprocessor. So right now there is only one memory which is asked, so we will draw that memory. So in the first step we will draw the memory. So let's draw the memory. Now the size of the memory, it is a 4K byte. Now always remember student, the memory can be of two type, either it can be RAM or it can be ROM. Okay, right now in this example ROM is asked. One more thing, that is in every memory there will be 3 main connections. The first connection is the address bus. So address bus which is coming out of the microprocessor will be connected to the memory. The second connection is the data bus. So data bus which is coming out of the microprocessor will be connected to the memory, and the last one is the control signal as well as chip select signal. So for any memory there will be 3 main signals which will be there. Okay, so this memory will be having 3 signals. The first signal which is address bus. The second signal, it is data bus, and the last one is control signal as well as chip select. Now the control signal is totally dependent on which type of memory we are interfacing. Right now we are interfacing EEPROM, it means it is read only memory, it means there will be only one control signal which is read bar, and there will be chip select signal. What is the meaning of chip select? To transfer data, processor has to send active low signal at this particular pin. When processor sends active low signal, then and then this chip will be selected, and after that processor can read and write data from this memory. If this chip is not selected, or if active high signal is sent to this pin or no signal is sent to this pin, in that case processor won't be able to communicate with this memory. So chip select is a must to transfer data between processor and memory. The next thing that you can see on the chip is the address bus. What is the address bus? Using address bus, processor will send address value, and using the address bus processor can select particular address location within a memory. Okay, so when processor send any value to the address bus, that location will be selected on the memory. After location is selected, processor will send control signal which can be read or write, and when read or write control signal is sent, that particular location can be read or write. And depending on read and write operation, data can be either flow from the processor to the memory or memory to the processor. So these 3 signals are main. So first step is completed. What was the first step? First step is to draw a memory, and there can be multiple memory asked, or there can be only one memory asked. So right now the first step is completed. In the second step, we are going to draw a memory map table. What is memory map table? Using the memory map table, we are going to find the starting and the ending address of the memory. And also we are going to find that how many address line is required for the memory. So let's perform the second step is to draw a memory map table. Okay students, so in the second step we are going to draw memory map table. You can see this is the memory map table. Now what are the different fields for memory map table? The first field that you can see is the address line, which is from A0 to A15. So total 16 lines is required. If you remember, for the microprocessor 8085, the size of the address bus is 16-bit. So these 16-bit address lines are written here. Here you can see there is a starting address and the ending address. Okay. Now if you see in the question, we are given the starting address. So let's write the starting address, which is already given, and in the starting address it is 0000H, which is in hexadecimal, and if you convert into binary you will get all the zeros for 16 lines. So let's write the starting address 000 0 0 0 0 0 0 and 0. So in the starting address all is 0. Now I want to find the ending address. Now this thing is a little bit tricky. To find the ending address of particular memory, the first thing you should know is that how many address line is required for that memory. So it is a 4K byte ROM. It means to interface 4K byte we have to provide some address lines. So notice students, from A0 to A9 total how many address line? 10 address line. If you provide 10 address line to memory, we can access 2 raised to 10, it means 1K memory. So using A0 to A9, using 10 address line we can interface 1K byte of memory. So from A0 to A10 means 11 address line, we can interface 2 raised to 11, it means 2K memory. From A0 to A11, it means how many address line? 12 address line. So 2 raised to 12, it means we can interface 4K memory. It means that to interface 4K byte of memory, how many address lines are required? How many address lines are required? A0 to A11, it means total 12 address lines are required. So for the starting address of the memory, for the starting address A0 to A11 is 0. To find the ending address for the particular memory, we will set all the bits, all the address lines which is connected to that particular memory to 0. So to find the last address, we will set A0 to A11, which is the address line required for 4K byte memory, and we are going to set this to 1. So we will set all the bits to 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 and 1. Okay. Okay students, now you may be thinking that sir, what to put for the remaining address lines, which is A12 to A15. Now we got it that A0 to A11, which is to be interfaced to the memory. A12 to A15 is the remaining line. So what to do with the remaining line? So always remember the value which is present in the remaining lines at the starting address will be same at the ending address. So at the starting address, the value for the remaining lines for A12 to A15 is 0. So for the ending address, it will be 0. It should be 0. Why we are putting this value same? Because these extra lines will be connected for the chip select. Okay, and this logic is for chip select, and this logic should not be changed for one particular chip. Right now we are finding starting and ending address for one particular chip. It means that for any chip, for interfacing any chip, for the remaining address line, the value which is present in the starting address should be there for the ending address. So for the starting address it is 0000, and for the ending address it will be 0. Okay, so now the second step is completed, which is to draw a memory map. Now let's see the third step. In the third step, we are going to provide all the necessary connections with the memory. So let's see how many connections which are needed to be connected. So the first thing is the address bus. How many address lines is required to interface 4K byte? You know very well from the memory map A0 to A12. So A0 to A11 address line is required, total 12. Now this memory is 4K byte. It means there will be 4K locations and one location can store 1 byte. It means what will be the length of the data bus? It will be D0 to D7. For the read bar, we are going to send the control signal, which is memory read. This memory read control signal, it is originated from the microprocessor and it should be connected to the read bar of the memory. So when memory read control signal is sent and when this signal arrives here, the memory will be read. The last one is the chip select. Now for the chip select, we are going to connect all the lines that are remained after memory interfacing. So in the memory interfacing, we have connected A0 to A11. So A0 to A11 will be connected to memory. The remaining lines, which is A12 to A15, will be connected to chip select bar. Now you can see that chip select bar is only 1 and A12 to A15 is 4 lines. So no doubt students, there will be no problem. We will connect these all lines with the AND gate and we will connect AND gate to the memory. So the remaining lines, which is A12, A13, A14 and A15. Okay, so if you see in the memory map, the value of A12, A13, A14 and 15, it is always 0. Okay, so when 0 arrives here, this chip will be selected. So you can see that to access the starting, if microprocessor is sending A0 to A15, all the zeros in the memory, the first location will be selected because A12 to A15 is 0, so chip select is done. After chip select is done, A0 to A11 is 0, it means first location will be selected. For the last location, microprocessor will send A0 to A11 1 and A12 to A15 0. So when A12 to A15 is 0, it means that chip is still selected, and A0 to A11 is 1, it means last location in the memory will be selected. Now this memory map is in which form? It is in binary form. We have to represent in the hexadecimal form. So let's represent in the hexadecimal. What will be the starting address? 0 0 0 0 H. For the ending address, 0 F F F H. So this is how a memory interfacing question is solved. 3 simple steps. Okay students, so I think this is it for today's session. If you still have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, and we are going to see some more examples regarding to memory interfacing. In the next example, we are going to interface more than one memory with a microprocessor. And I think this is it. Thank you so much.